Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and this week we're going to be reviewing One Piece manga chapter 1073, Miss Buckingham Stussy. So we have also like and subscribe. So we have a continuation with Germa 66 right here. The Germa 60 Cold-Blooded Voyage, where we're showing Mads and everything, and we see the Ibel Peace Prize for developing the GP flower. A flower that blooms in gunpowder. So we kind of see, the rest of Mads kind of like outraged or upset kind of thing. I'm wondering if we're going to see them turn on Vegapunk soon in this cover story, or they're going to break up soon. What do you think?
Well, we know that Mads isn't together anymore, so I think that with this just shows, even though they're like together as a group, it seems like Vegapunk does want to he doesn't want to bring weapons or anything into the world, but just different types of science. Like the other three are focused on more so weapons than anything else.
Conquering power kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see them break up in this cover story, and then so basically we return back to Lucci being betrayed right here, where he says this is a bitter pill to swallow. And I know we were discussing, so why does his face look so distraught with Stussy when, for example, Luffy's far stronger and he still wanted to fight Luffy again. And I think basically, since we're seeing so much of a replay between Enies Lobby, Water 7 with this arc, I basically see it as like Lucci's the one getting betrayed, basically, how he would betray people his whole life, same with Kaku, and now he actually gets to feel what it's like to be stabbed in the back, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also interested to see, like, because Lucci goes to sleep like Kaku did. So I'm wondering if it has to do with Stussy's powers or with the Sea Prism Stone lipstick that she has. It's not really made clear which one it is.
Yes, and the paper art Heartbreak After Image she does, is that a modification of one of the Rokushiki powers, basically?
Yeah.
Kamui? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it was one of the less used ones, so it's good to be reintroduced like that.
No, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And I did kind of find it was interesting because I thought like maybe this would be a good moment for Lucci's character development going on forward, kind of thing, to be betrayed. Yeah, you know, he kind of gets a taste of his own medicine, and we saw him asking questions at the beginning of this arc. So I'm wondering if this might be like and he doesn't want to accept the idea that Luffy's a Yonko now. So maybe further on, he's going to change more as a character as time goes on with this. So it was just interesting to see him go down with the Sea Stone stuff, and I think you and I agree, like, when it comes to this whole thing, that he got snuck up upon, basically, and that she's not stronger, and she acknowledges, like, finding you fair and square would have been stupid, and she says, like, you guys are, like, really, what was it? You're both too strong for me to fight in a fair fight, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, people are pointing out, like, this doesn't necessarily downgrade Lucci in terms of strength, because people were pointing out, like, weaker characters have beaten stronger characters in sneak attacks, like, or with powers that they don't necessarily understand, like when Caesar Clown defeated Luffy in Punk Hazard, like,
Sugar with Robin.
Yeah. It's just different abilities.
Yeah, and Sugar probably would have defeated Law and Luffy too in that moment if Usopp didn't step in as well. You know,
it depends on their hockey actually, but
okay, now we're bringing that. Okay,
yeah,
but yeah, so there's more complexity with a lot of this stuff. But for me as a Lucci fan, I actually liked this though. I thought it was a cool like character plot moment with him and everything. But yeah, so we see the crew surprised that they had a mole in the intelligence branch. Do you think it was too far-fetched, or was it actually believable that Vegapunk had a spy? You know, in the Cypher Pole Zero.
So this again goes to what we were talking about last week with Stussie's level of autonomy, because she seems just like a regular person, with her own free will. So, it can be assumed that well, I don't know, because Vegapunk was saying it wasn't our intention, but that's how it turned out. So we don't necessarily know what Stussie's and Vegapunk's plans actually were. But it shows, like they say, her loyalty to me was kept secret, even after she spent 20 years as one of the CP0 agents. So, yeah.
Right.
So no, I can believe it, the triple agent thing, because that's Stussie's whole thing, because she was also an underground deal broker, and then she was a CP0 agent, and then she's a clone, and then she's with Vegapunk. She's just kind of a however many level agent you want her to be.
Right. And then another question I would ask is, do you think CP0 lived up to the hype of their role in the story?
Well, eventually we'll do our Wano Part 3 review, but just how they were hyped up, I feel like yes and no. You think like the top CP0 agents would be a little bit stronger than they're portrayed as, but they're not complete fodder.
Yeah.
But you look at like I think his name's Guernica, the blue scarf one from Wano. He did take some damage. He survived, like being stabbed through by Drake. So I just kind of wish them to do stuff like CP9 did, where it was more like, how long did they infiltrate Water 7? Like years.
7 years, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, to do stuff for one mission to get the Pluton blueprints. So I kind of wish it was more like that instead of just like the hitmen for the Gorosei. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it was kind of cool, like with Stussy being invited to Big Mom's tea party, and I thought that was pretty cool. For example, you know.
Yeah.
Now I'd say like Lucci in this arc, I wanted to say, you know, he had an impressive showing, and he was a threat in the sense that he took out Sentomaru, took control of the Seraphim, infiltrated the island, basically all by himself, roughly, you know? And so I'd say like there's very few forces to like be a nuisance or a challenge to the Straw Hats, and I think they were able to do it in this arc. And we do have to recognize that the Straw Hats are like broken right now. You know, I wouldn't say like any of them were really on the verge of death at all, right? But I'd say at the same time they were like a threat with how they utilized everything, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, anyways, going to the next part, I did think the clash between the Mihawk Seraphim and Zoro was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what we wanted to see. But what did you think about Zoro's comment S-Hawk there.
You actually have it spark a humanity still.
Yeah.
I think there is gonna be like this aspect of like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Mihawk had some humanity just with Perona, Let Your Stay, and all that stuff. I think that's a little overblown and everything, but I think there's like still a degree of innocence with the young Mihawk and everything, and maybe, I don't know, kind of still have like a childish dream view of the world and everything, you know? While I think Mihawk is more ruthless and maybe a little bit bitter about the world.
Yeah. I was going to use the word jaded.
Yeah, that's a good one,
Yeah. But, I mean, I want to see the official translation, but I think it's interesting because, I mean, it could just be like Zoro, because Zoro doesn't even know what these things are. Like later on, he's saying like why do they look like this? What are these things? But it could be like he maybe thought they were robots, but like when S-Hawk clashed with him, like he looked confused and is like, oh, you're not just like a mindless robot. Yeah. And I'm wondering if it's like to like be the strongest, you have to throw away part of your humanity. Because once you become the strongest, like you lose your sense of ambition or whatever. So yeah, that would be interesting if like Zoro became the strongest swordsman and he lost like his conqueror's haki or something. That's just a random thought, but
okay.
But yeah,
and I'm still holding out the possibility for the record that Stussy could be another hidden agent
for Blackbeard.
Yeah. I'm not taking that out of the cards. I think both can be true at the once. Yeah, so I'm just saying that and just putting that out there. Or you can record this or like timestamp this for later. But yeah, and then so what do you think about the whole? So yeah, we had Marco coming back to the village, and we see Weevil. Honestly, I don't think so Weevil getting captured by Green Bull. I don't think anyone predicted this happening. That Weevil would be captured by the Marines and Marco. Getting a side quest to go rescue him.
Yeah, so I had to look it up because it's been so long since we've actually seen Weevil. So last time we saw him, I think that he was like planning on going to go to fight Marco for the treasure. So I'm kind of perplexed on why he's defending the village. I mean, I get that it's his home, but yeah, you think they would just be after the treasure, unless they like realize that this is like the treasure is just the place.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, all the power scalers shitting on Green Bull. Just I mean, there's debate on how strong Weevil actually is, because do you want to get into like what you think about Weevil and like his origins? Because I have some thoughts.
I think I agree with your thoughts, so you can just go with them.
So I do think that Weevil is Whitebeard's son in a technical sense because he's made from his DNA. He's a failed clone or failed seraphim or whatever. And it could be a botched thing from Miss Buckin because she's officially revealed to be Stussy, the older form. She was a member of the Rocks Pirates. And it's interesting in there, she says, self proclaimed scientist, Mad's resident freeloader. So she's not like a scientist, so she could have gotten Whitebeard's DNA and just been like, oh, I hung around with Mads long enough. Let me try and create my own Whitebeard by myself.
Yeah. Right.
So that's what I think Weevil is. But yeah, I don't know what the plan is to do with Weevil now, with him being in Marine custody.
Impel Down Part 2.
Yeah, he's gonna team up with Bon Clay.
Yeah, Marco, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, do you have any thoughts on what's gonna go on with Weevil, or?
I think, okay, I know we keep on saying this, but I think this would be Marco's end if he went to go rescue Weevil, basically. And kind of, okay, if he's like, oh, wait, you are, like, related to Pops, is like a failed clone, you know what, maybe I'll give up my life, kind of thing. Because you saved the village, you saved Pop's treasure. Because I don't know, maybe Magellan comes in and beats Marco's ass, who you know, or like...
the power scalers are already crying.
Yeah, oh man. But I also think it was an interesting... One, is just nice to see the Navy... Because I was going to call bullshit if not one of the warlords didn't get captured, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially if, like, since Buggy didn't get captured. Or,
Buggy...
or Hancock. Or Mihawk.
I guess you could say Boa would have got captured if, you know, whatever, all those X variables didn't come into play, you know, right?
Well, that's debatable, because I think she was only losing because of Blackbeard.
Hey, you don't know. Kobe may have been about to pop up.
You and your... You just... you and your Kobe
I do think
agenda.
I think there was too bit of a strong plot armor when it came to the warlords, though, because theoretically they didn't have to announce the warlords being disbanded, had an admiral at like most of the warlords, you know, and then just capture him like that, you know. Like, why would you kind of send in vice admirals and fodder to like try to capture warlords? It doesn't make any sense, especially Mihawk, right? You're just gonna send an admiral by default, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad like one of them got caught, you know. And I guess it's a W because for Green Bull, because it's just a clean 1v1 victory and everything, you know.
Yeah.
Which we don't really get to see much with high tiers, so it's kind of interesting to see that happen.
Yeah, especially if we're power scaling him to be prime beard levels, which
Kizaru did do, right? Roughly. I mean, maybe he's clearly not as smart as Whitebeard, you know. But maybe he has like the raw strength, if you will.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the fruit either, you know. So
yeah.
Or maybe he does as a Seraphim. Who knows? But I think the last part was the hypest part, and obviously everybody's gonna think that. But see a Gorosei brought into the story, man, how we have been waiting for that forever, dude. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Oh my god. So, yeah, and him being with Kizaru, like he's on his way to Luffy. So they know that Luffy's there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he's going there because of that reason, or what do you think?
Oh, I think that Gorosei's going there just to take control of the Seraphim.
That would be, yeah, that's a good reason.
Yeah, just because he outranks Vegapunk and then gets control of them again.
Yeah.
Because they just disbanded the Warlords of the Sea, which they're really hesitant to do, so they're not about to give up these Seraphim.
Yeah.
So do you think he's well, yeah, so this is one of the big wigs finally makes a move. Saint J. Garcia Saturn. That's the first time they've been one of them's been named, right?
Yes. I still want the one to be named Gandhi though. Just call him Gandhi. You don't even need to call him anything else. But it's interesting.
So do you think he's a celestial dragon since they gave him the term saint?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I'm interested just in the naming convention. Jay Garcia Saturn. I'm more focused on the Saturn part of it because it has to do with more of the celestial bodies, and I think a lot of them. So we have either like the Greek or Roman versions of it. So we have Poseidon, which is Neptune, Pluton, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune. Which, so that brings me to my theory that at the end of the day, I think if we're just going by the naming conventions, maybe Neptune would be like one of the highest rankings people in the world because he has that namesake.
Are you talking about Shirahoshi's father, right?
Yeah. Because I was going through the list of all the planets, and he's the only one that's like considered good. So,
that's a good point. Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first time we've seen them like in the world, which is crazy. And
so, do you think he's about to pop off too? Do you think he has power?
I mean, this is the point in the story where they would have to show something.
Just one shot Zoro.
Yeah. I mean, I was waiting for, like, I was like all hyped up for Kizaru to be going there and Luffy fighting him. But now it's, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be in the camp that he's powerful.
Oh yeah. They have to be.
I'm not gonna say he's admiral level maybe or above it, but I'd say he's definitely above first commander, and that's just my instinct with this. Yeah. I don't know how it would work if all 5 of these guys were above admiral level. It'd be kind of broken.
I mean, they have to be. I would think they would have to lead by strength, because that's kind of what the world government kind of values.
I just have a hard time seeing how they're gonna take down like 9 admiral level characters by the end of the series, and then maybe 10 with Ibu. Or no, 11 and then Kong.
Yeah, Kong.
So like the list gets bigger and bigger with this. You know? I don't know. It's risky, but I mean he has a really cool design though. You know. Yeah, he doesn't look gaggy at all or anything like that. So he's like a serious looking character. And with One Piece, that's a big deal. You know. I don't know. It would be kind of hilarious to see the Straw Hats get routed at this island by Kizaru and the Gorosei, Saint J.
Yeah.
So, because they make it seem like, okay, cool, everything's fine. Yes, Dusty's going on the ship. Woo! Seraphim under control. CP0's locked up. I feel like things are going to start getting a lot worse by the end of this arc, and they're going to have to escape, maybe without Vegapunk and without all these people. And I'm wondering if that's going to lead to other negative news with the Blackbeard situation in regard to Law and Garp and Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah, there's we say this I say this every time. There's just so much going on at this point. It's not like Wano. It's just something's always constantly going on.
Yeah.
In the different parts of the world.
This is a wild arc.
Yeah. So, I did have one more thing to bring up that's not related to this. So, there was just one panel thing that said that like Luffy's looking for Vegapunk and Bonnie, and then it says, a truly unexpected development, Dr. Vegapunk's main Stella body has vanished. So, do you think that means that he's off the island? Like something happened with him and Bonnie when they tried to access the memories, or they just can't find him right now?
Yeah, just can't find him. Unless he's like a double agent for the government too. Who knows? But I don't know. I have no idea at this point because I honestly there's so much going on. I'm having a hard time computing everything, to be honest.
Yeah, I would almost say that like something happened, because Oda doesn't just put like narration like that.
Yeah.
For nothing. Yeah, I was kind of thrown off by that, because last time we saw the two of them, they were by Kuma's bubble with his memories. So yeah, that's just another thing. But I think the biggest what?
No, it's just funny. Yeah, and I was thinking how Kuma's climbing up the red wall right now.
Yeah, so, fighting down there.
Yeah, so there's that too. Yeah.
So yeah, Saturn and Kizaru must have left before Kuma got there, because they're relatively close, right?
Yeah, no, their Marijo is nearby. Yeah. So, but the only negative part of this chapter is no break for next week.
You mean there is a break?
I mean, sorry, that there is a break.
Yeah.
My apologies. That's the L.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But yeah, I want to see more of the Gorosei. I kind of want Oda to have a chapter like he did with the Yonko bounty reveals with Shanks and Roger and everyone. I want him to just have that for the Gorosei.
Yeah.
For the remainder of them.
So when Oda said in that one interview, I know he's promoting the card game, but he was saying that you're not going to believe, oh, so-and-so is fighting who? What? You know? And I'm wondering if he's referencing this right here. Like, this guy's going to be fighting Luffy.
I mean, it could literally be anyone at this point.
Yeah.
There's just a lot.
That's what I'm saying, because I this wasn't in the cards, and that got my reaction coming out, is what I'm trying to say, you know? I mean, we could just say that right now. Oh, Greenbull fought Weevil? No way.
Yeah.
No one saw that coming. That was in no one's little theory videos. No one predicted that, you know? So
actually, if you go back before we started doing videos,
oh man. All right, but anyways, love the chapter. Please like and subscribe, everybody. Any closing thoughts, Gboss?
Nope. Just it's gonna be a long 2 weeks of theory crafting.
All right, then let's go. So we will see you all soon. Thank you for listening, everyone, and everyone have a fantastic week. Peace.
See ya.